That's the VA. The other VA.
Damn!
Oh man.
Good to see you,
Tuffy.
sweetie. You know I love you.
Tuffy is so silly.
I love her.
Hi, Tuffy.
This is Deborah. This is Deborah of Hush, the original. She is the best host, the best. She has the most personality, heart, soul, and she does the best tours. And she has a great crew. Me, Mikey, Razor. The list goes on. Come see us. Hush Tours.
Yeah.
What's up, y'all? This is Tuffy. Welcome to my home on the Hush. You know what I'm talking about. Soundview, the Bronx. Let's go. Come. What's good?
You know, I grew up in Fordham.
Okay.
Fordham. And anytime I would come over here, a few times over my childhood and coming of age, this is luxury, Tuffy. You know,
For the
still
neighborhood.
is.
Yeah, I mean, there was some money here. There was some. It wasn't the greatest of money, but we felt like we were living right.
Yeah.
We weren't in the projects. And you know, we had security, 24-hour security, which was unheard of. And it was a comfortable situation. I grew up here, but I also saw fights here. I saw craziness here. Before there was the Bloods and the Crips, there were other gangs that were in the 70s here. And they would fight. We have a big circle, a big park circle, and they would come here to fight. And
like warriors kind
like
of
warriors
fight?
type of shit.
Yeah,
It was like
that's what the move was then, right?
Yeah, for real. That's real. G. Anthony Ray used to come over here. You know, great actor, but he was also an angry person all the time. He'd come over here and fight for no reason. You come outside, he'd just be beating somebody's ass. It was a different time. New York was a different place, and the Bronx had an energy unlike anywhere else.
For sure.
Real Black Spades and the Lords of. I mean, there's so many. My things back then. It was also not just the gang names. It was territories. It was Soundview versus Castle Hill. You know, it was Hunts Point, which was Latinos, versus the Latinos from Castle Hill who hate each other. And why they always chose this area? Because there was the escape routes. There was so many escape routes. If you went into that circle, you could jump over the fence, you could run straight through the park, and we didn't have those fences back then. So it was just ways to escape. I got you, fam. Love is love.
Yeah. Dope.
So yeah, it was a different time. It was definitely a different time. And they would come meet here, and also from here, it was 3 blocks to the bowling alley where everybody met up on Fridays and Saturdays to get their dance on, to get their high on, to listen to music and to dance, and it was a crazy time. Definitely a different time. Hitting 3 for him. Hopefully it'll go down for him. And yeah, this was, I used to run down this hallway. And I would bet money because my mother on this, and that's her handle.
Your mother did that? Oh, happy holidays. She's still keeping it going.
My mother thinks the whole neighborhood is her neighborhood.
The hallways in New York City housing where I grew up was like this big.
Real talk.
You could barely turn around.
And the elevator smelled like pee.
If it worked.
Right,
Oh
hello.
my gosh.
If they work, word.
All right, there it is.
There we go.
Should we remove our shoes?
Nah, y'all good.
Sure.
Okay, come on. All right.
Thank you.
Cool.
Oh yeah, Tuffy, you was living large.
Large and in charge.
Large, man. You was living large. You was living large, B.
Yeah, they're not here.
Yeah, you could already feel
I mean,
it,
you
right?
know,
It's
what
like a
happened-
big hug coming in here.
This
It's
was
like
home.
a big hug.
All my friends would come here, and it was always warm, so they would automatically fall asleep. My mom was one of the only mothers who didn't have plastic on all the furniture. So
That
people would
also
come in.
made it comfy.
Right, people would come in and go to sleep, and this is what it was.
Now that you know, I know that you don't live too far from here, so you probably visit often. But
All the time.
are there any memories that jump out? Also, any special recipes?
Ooh, my mom loves to cook. My mom, one night a week, she would say, it's chops, which was Connie's House of Pancakes. So that night you can have whatever you want. You ask for it, she'll make it.
Okay.
And then one night a week was you had to make your own.
Fend for yourself.
Fend for yourself,
that
right.
one.
And that was usually Tuesdays. And then Sundays was big dinner night. Sometimes we have a table right here, and we'd have neighbors over, and we'd have other family over. We never really had the big family dinner except for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But my mom loves to cook, and if she was here right now, she'd be making y'all something. That's just who she is. In her mumu. Special memories, so many. I mean, listen, I've been here. I remember when I was excited I had just gotten my driver's license, and my dad was on his way home from work, and I was in front of the building, and I saw him driving, but he was driving erratic. And I was like, my dad don't drive like that. So I ran to the back of the building where he was parking the car. My dad came out of the car stumbling, like Fred Sanford. He was having a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
So I had to drive him to the hospital immediately. I didn't even call upstairs. I just drove him to the hospital. And that was the 80s. It was his first heart attack, and he had a triple bypass and a whole lot of stuff since then.
What are the odds that you were downstairs at that time?
Perfect timing.
Right? Perfect
That's God.
timing. That's God definitely intercepted
And
there.
he thought that he needed some exercise. So he was having a heart attack for hours, and he went to the gym and worked out. He could have killed himself. He don't even. I mean, we talk about that all the time. It was a different time, though. 70s and 80s was a different time. But I've been here for blackouts. I remember we all were going to the movies, and we had just gotten to the parking lot, and suddenly the whole area was dark.
That's that 1977.
77, and it was crazy because that was during Summer of Sam time. That was during a whole lot of stuff, and you could hear people breaking into the stores within 10 minutes.
Yes.
As soon as that blackout happened, you could hear the glass breaking across the street. Where we were for McDonald's and Dunkin' Donuts.
All that shopping
All
area.
that shopping area
Yeah.
was towed down in 15, 20 minutes. We saw somebody stealing clothes from the line there used to be a cleaners there. We're like, why are you taking clothes that ain't
But
even
the
yours?
next day I know the next day for me after the blackout, the people that had
Stuff from the stores.
all on their arms, and people carrying couches. It was crazy. I was in Brooklyn.
Shopping carts.
Yeah, it was crazy, that blackout. It was-
And we had a few of them over the years. We had a few blackouts. We had a few brownouts. Do you remember walking home? Where were you on 9/11? I remember walking
Yeah, I
home from
worked across
14th
the
Street.
street from 9/11.
Oh, get
yeah,
out.
and I lived over there. I lived down in Battery Park City for maybe 20 years.
Wow. See, that's a
Yeah.
New York memory that
Yeah.
all of us
Oh,
had.
yes, all of us had. And I was there for the first one, too. When the first bombing that happened that didn't tear down the
The one that
the
Biggie got in
buildings.
trouble for?
Yeah, right.
Biggie,
Blow
word.
up. But
Blow up like the
World
World
Trade.
Trade.
Trade. Yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah, I've been down there. And it was crazy because after 9/11, that day, right, by the time I got with my family and we started proceeding to walk up to the Bronx to head up to my sister-in-law's house, it was like by the time we hit 14th Street, 23rd Street, people were acting like they didn't even know what was going on
Right.
downtown. They were still on a lounging chair. I was like, we were full of all kind of
Soot
soot
and
and
crazy.
everything. And I'll never forget that. I was like,
Me either.
man, the disconnect of one neighborhood to something that's major. But after a while, I think the reality hit.
Oh, yeah,
But
it
at
took time.
that time, it just was like, oh, it didn't happen over here. So that's what they dealing with downtown.
And New York was a different New York for, I'd say 6 months. Everybody loved each other.
Yes, everybody
It was
loved
kind of
it.
nice to see
Yes, yes.
that. It didn't matter whether you were black, white, Asian, Hispanic, didn't matter. Everybody was loving each other. And then that eventually disappeared.
Yeah.
And we went back to, who are you?
Being New York. New Yorkers.
And the funny thing about that is, I will say this about hip hop culture. Even when there's beef, there's still love.
Yes.
Like, I remember being at the Sound Factory when KRS-One threw Mark Fresh off the stage from PM Dawn. And, I could tell you some stories. KRS-One gave me a bag to hold. He was like, don't open it. And I was like, why? He was like, don't open it till it's time. So I was like, okay. So I'm with Will Brody and Kenny Parker, and we just walking around. And Chris is a different dude. And I'm holding this plastic bag, and it has a little weight to it. And I want to touch the bottom to see if it feels like a gun. I'm like, Chris don't carry a gun. What is
You
this?
thought it was books?
I didn't know what it was. No, it felt like it was just a little more weight than regular. So I didn't know what was in it. And it was a little big, so I held the bag, and Will Brody, when I when I tried to touch the bottom of it, Tree was like, nah. Chris said, hold it. So I'm like, what is going on in the world? So I'm really thinking, if this is a weapon, I'm an accessory. That's all I'm thinking. So we get by the stage. Will Brody and Tree goes up to the DJ booth. No, sorry. Will Brody and Kenny Parker went to the DJ booth. And Chris says, Tuff, give me the bag. And I'm like, okay. And I give it to him, and he's like, hold it open. And I hold it open, and I'm nervous to see. And he pulls out a fresh Yankee fitted and a big bottle of water. My whole mind, I was like, yeah, I hate you right now. Like, I was so mad that my mind is going all over.
What you wanted it to be?
Bro, I had to be something. I was,
Like, yo, Will,
and it was just a big bottle of water, so that was the weight, and then the hat was making its size. But I never forget. And he put that joint on, and he went up on the stage and mushed Mark, and did the bridges over and killed it. Never forget that.
Wow.
I mean, hip hop moments like that. I was telling y'all earlier about Flavor Flav.
Flavor Flav story, yeah.
So, on First Avenue, between First and Second Street, there is a restaurant there called Lucky Chang's. Next door to Lucky Chang's is a funeral parlor. So I was there at the funeral parlor. One of my cousins had passed away, and I'm Latino, so we have funerals for 10 days at a time. It's just crazy how they do stuff. So we're all, when I say all there, my entire family, 35 cousins, aunts, uncles, whatever. My mom is there, my sisters are there, and we're walking out, and one of my cousins is like, Tuffy, Flavor Flav is here. And I was like, okay. So I walk out, and Flav's like, yo, Tuff, what's good? Talking, you got a clock on, which that's the time frame. And we're talking and laughing, and I'm like, he's like, what's going on, G? I was like, yo, my cousin passed away. Yo, I'm so sorry. What was it? I was like, bad health, just a lot of just things. So we don't go through all that. So he's talking, and my cousins are like, they're taking pictures with cameras that they're not going to see for a couple of days, the throwaway cameras.
Yeah, okay.
So it was disposables, right? So I'm laughing at that, and then my mom comes out, and she's like, what's all this commotion, Tuffy? And I was like, Flav, this is my mom. Oh, shit! Yo, it's so good to meet you. You got the bomb womb. We were like, what? She said, I'm sorry, what did you say? He said, you got the bomb womb. You made Tuffy and Cheryl. Because he knows my sister Cheryl.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and she was like, thank you. Like, how do you respond to bomb womb? So she walks away, and I'm like, yo, bomb womb? He was like, that's what comes out, G. When it falls out, you just let it be. And I was like, bomb womb. My mother talks about that to this day. Like,
oh my goodness.
Why would he say that to me? Like, but it was just so funny. But my family lost their minds, and we didn't have social media, so you couldn't tell nobody.
Right.
It was just a story to tell people. But the bomb womb has followed my mother
That's the
for 30
generation
years.
gap too, because like to him that was like
He was saying something fly.
Yeah.
My mom thought he was being disrespectful. She didn't know how to. She was like, "Thank you," and walked away. But I love that the bomb womb. I was like, Flav is a different dude.
He really
always has been, always will be. But I love him for that.
Flav, we love you, bro.
We love you, Flav.
Flav.
Shout out to Flav. Shout out to the 3 white girls in the bed in the hotel. Only Flavor knows what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We were getting ready to shoot Night of Living Bassheads, and I had to pick him up from the hotel. It used to be called the Milton. Remember that? The Lullaby of Broadway. I had a terrible commercial.
Yes.
So I go upstairs to his room, and he won't open it. So I call security, and I'm like, I think I heard a gunshot. That's the only way they're going to come in and open the door. So they came, they opened the door, and I go inside, and Flav has triplets. And they're laying one way, he's laying the other. It's very weird, but I was like, yo, my dude, you got to go to work. And he was like, nah. So I gave them all $20. I was like, go get a cab and get out of here. Goodbye. And I got him showered and dressed and to set. And our relationship was never the same after that. But I love him for that. That's my dude. I listen, this is what you do for hip hop. When we shot Self-Destruction, I had to bring Just Ice to set. I had to bring D Nice to set. I had to bring, the sisters, Melinda and I forgot the other one's name. I mean, it's what we do. When we shot Self-Destruction, I was not only a first AD on the set, but I was also still casting. So it was a lot going on. So I've been.
You wear a lot of hats.
I wear a lot of hats. That's why you see me not.
See, it is.
From VideoMusicBox to Hush Tours. This is what we do. You just have to be able to do it all.
There you go.
But I'm grateful.
But not everyone can do that, So just so you know that you do it all and you do it well. But that's a special gift too. It's
Amen.
not like you just wake up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna do this, do that, and do the next thing." No.
It definitely takes.
Rare.
It definitely takes some kind of a special heart for the situation.
Yeah. And some sacrificing too.
Definitely sacrifice. I've sacrificed a lot of time. I've lost time with my daughter. I've lost time with my family. I've had to get on planes within an hour, of being told that we're doing something. Sometimes it's like that. Sometimes it's other things. And I'm grateful that I've been in a position where I can say, nah, I'm good.
Right.
I'm not going to be able to do that. My mom is important. My sister is important. There's a surgery coming up that I got to be present for.
To say no.
To say no,
And that's self-wellness too. Like
100%.
in our generation, that was not even considered.
Right.
Like, it
Do
was
the
just
work, get the money.
Go. Be constant.
I want to live. I want to live. I want to enjoy life. I may not have the millions that I deserve, but I have something
You rich
bigger
in
than money.
spirit.
Yeah, well, wealthy. I'm wealthy.
Wealthy.
I'm a billionaire in spirit.
And that's really where it counts, because a lot of times people have all this monetary currency and they miserable,
Right.
you know, and then
And they die.
lose control. Yeah.
Right. I mean, listen, I have friends who are billionaires who are unhappy. And I have friends who have no money and are happy.
Right.
Happiness is not equated to the amount of money in your pocket or your bank account. It's amounted to who you are as a human, who you are as a man, woman, or child. And the world is different. These kids have no clue what sacrifice really is.
Everything is so instant, but it's also nice to be recognized for the things that you have contributed, and I'm thankful that you allowing us not only to like spend this morning with you, but also like coming to your childhood home. You know, I've met your parents on virtually, and they seem like a wonderful couple, and we can see that in you. And I never met your sister, but I'm quite sure it comes through in her personality as well.
Thank you. You can walk. Listen, I would suggest you take the camera into the foyer. There's a lot of history in those pictures on the wall. My mom loves to put pictures of us up. There are pictures over the years.
Is that you singing at the Nets game?
That's me singing at the Nets game.
Zero in on that.
And that's a playoff game. That's Nets and Knicks, which is a lot of fun.
That's when the Nets were in Jersey?
I miss those days.
Yeah, I missed those too, because the tickets used to be, you could go, we
easier.
used to go to take our kids to the Nets game in Jersey, like $10 tickets.
Right, you can get tickets game day, night of.
That's right.
And good seats.
Good seats.
Floor seats at the start in Jersey were not floor seats in the Garden.
Right.
And listen, don't get it twisted. The Garden sound was so much different. Like they had a real sound system.
There was money there.
I sang the anthem at the Garden, and I sang the anthem at the Nets for 14 seasons.
But were you ever torn, like, which team? What are you?
I was never torn. No, I'm not. I'm not Knicks. Knicks is suck.
So what team are you? Who?
I love the Nets, but I'm more of a Golden State Warrior fan these days. I love Curry all day long. Hey, don't take it personal.
I'm not taking
the
it
Knicks
personal,
suck.
but I just can't believe it. Cut!
The Knicks suck, and they wear the same colors as the Mets. They both suck. That's just, come on, pick a color. One of y'all pick your own color.
So is that
You gotta pick a side. You gotta pick a side.
So you think if they change the color, then that's gonna,
I might feel differently.
Okay, well,
but you know what it is also?
We gotta get that up the ladder then.
I agree. I think Dolan needs to get rid. They need to get rid of Dolan.
That part.
I'm still mad at the way they lost in '94 to Houston. You know, if your man Starks just dunks the damn ball 5 more times and trying to shoot outside shots, y'all win.
Yeah.
So
we would have.
So I don't say we.
But at least that team was, they were decent.
They were.
You know, it was good to watch them play.
And those are my boys.
You know?
Oakley, I hung out with Oakley. I hung out with Ewing, Charles. Those are all. Charles Smith was my family. Like I got stories for all of them. I remember walking into the bathroom and Larry Johnson was changing into his grandmama outfit, and I was like, nah, I don't want to see this right now. This is not where I want to be.
We did a nice tour with Johnson, Spreewell, and the other guy. Remember, right before COVID,
nice.
We were gonna do some nice things with them, legends, and we were gonna
kind of
create. But the guy who was overseeing that, you know, he had to move on from the Knicks. But it was gonna be it was a nice tour. So that what it was great. But I was hoping it could have developed into more.
Well, I gotta connect with the NBA. So let's see if we can do some things.
Oh, okay.
I got I got Leah Wilcox, who's a VP up there, and then I got someone with the Yankees too. So let's talk about some stuff.
Nice.
I saw a post the other day of D Nice, who went to Venice to see KRS-One perform, and D Nice looks so small next to Chris. Chris just looks like he I don't want to say it, but he looks bigger than I'm used to him. But he looks solid. Like remember when Buster was suddenly this big, like that's what KRS-One just looks like. I'm eating everything, like not fat, just solid. But of course he gets on the stage and he moves like he's still small, which I love to see. It's an energy thing. I love KRS-One. I think I miss Guru the most when it comes to hip hop. I mean, I had a conversation the other day and they were like, would you bring back Tupac, Biggie, or Guru? And I was like, wow. I would say Guru, although I love Pac and Biggie so much. But Guru didn't have his time either, you know?
Right. And he was ahead of his time.
Way ahead.
At that time.
With the jazz and the whole nine.
Jazz with Tabs and all that.
Sure.
Jazz with Tabs was crazy.
Yeah.
And you know, I had the pleasure. I did a couple of videos with them, so you know, there was a lot of fun back then. Hip hop was just fun. The golden era was everything.
It really.
Yeah.
The
It
90s
really
changed
was.
the game,
It really
100%.
Any guru stories?
I remember being in Boston. We had a show in Boston. It was Big Daddy Kane, Nice and Smooth, Guru, you know, Premier and Guru.
Yeah, Gangstar.
Gangstar, and two other groups. Right, my brain's not processing. So and Kane used to always ruin the show because he'd end whatever, and if my points not understood, I'm staying at the Midwood, which was the hotel we were all staying in. But when he announced it, 1,000 people show up at the hotel. No one can get into their rooms. It was crazy. So he would do that all the time back in the days. So that particular night, this kid walks up to me and he was like, "Hey, how you doing? Someone told me you're TUFFY from VideoMusicBox." I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." And he was like, "Listen, I have this newsletter. I'm really trying to get it started." And he hands me this one sheet, and it says on top, the source. It was Dave Mays. Wow. And I love that, you know. And I wish I'd have kept that sheet. I did. I put it in my pocket, but I'm sure it got tore up trying to find a new hotel room that night. Thanks, Kane. But that was a great night, and it was funny because Guru would try to throw people off and say they're at a different hotel, and Kane would always mess it up at the end of his. And if my points to under, and he would just ruin it. I want to say De La Soul too. It was just a great show. But we had a lot of hip hop fun back then. Even though we was only making $2.15, but we split that $2.50 up. I mean, hip hop was fun. Shows were great. You know, we'd be doing 7-8 shows a week, so we'd be in and out.
There was a lot of versatility in the sound. So,
there was, and then and we also had the same sound people traveling with us.
Okay.
So it wasn't a different sound person, right? Because the arenas didn't control that yet.
Oh.
But then they changed that, and it was like, you got to use our sound guy. Your sound guy can sit in, and it became ugly. But that's part of the challenge of hip hop. Yes.
Any other hip hop stories in the crib?
I remember having Nice and Smooth here, and they were freestyling. And Smooth was saying some stuff, and my mom started singing the hook, which was really cool.
Wow.
Because my mom is a vocalist. My mom sounds like Gladys Knight.
Oh, wow.
So she started singing, and it didn't become a song, but it was so dope. It was just a nice situation. Because he said something in his rhyme that reminded her of a song, so she started singing this hook from the Cadillacs, a doo-wop song. And it was bananas, man. Some great moments I've had over the years. A lot of artists have been here just to visit. And my mom loves to cook, like I said.
Yeah.
So
that's an automatic connection.
Who's not eating?
Right.
Who's not eating home cooking?
Right.
And
it's welcoming, you know, like it's
Chops,
you can
baby.
feel it right here. Like when you come in,
Chops,
you can feel
baby.
it.
Yeah, Connie's House of Pancakes, man. I miss those days. But there's a lot of good love in this apartment, which is why my mom doesn't want to move. They've been here my entire life.
Right.
You know, I'm 56. They've been here 56 years.
Wow.
So,
any you talking about going on tour and tours, having fun on tour? Any tour stories?
one of my favorite tours was the Any Heartbreak tour. And
New Edition,
I'll Be Sure. It was crazy, and my boy Jimmy Maynez was the time manager for I'll Be Sure. So we had a lot of stuff going on. The garden was amazing. When you come home to your home and you're with big groups like that, everybody wants tickets.
That hasn't changed.
Everybody wants a laminate or credentials, and it was a lot of fun. One of my favorite tour stories is recent because I took my daughter to see Salt and Pepper, New Kids on the Block, Debbie Gibson, and all these folks. And my father wanted to go. So it was weird hearing my father sing Push It in his 80s, and my daughter's looking at him like this. And it was very funny, but that's the only song he knew by Salt and Pepper. So he's saying, yo, come on, give me a kiss. And it's just so funny. And my daughter's like, ew, Grandpa, stop singing. You're ruining it. Like, it was just so, like, just the adversity of it.
Is like,
she didn't get it at all, but he was loving it. And then he started doing this. And she was like, okay, take me to the bathroom, Dad. I have to throw up. Like, it was just so much fun to watch. So yeah, I got a lot of interesting tour stories.
So one of your first one of Nas's first interviews were with you. You know
Yes.
that? Okay, give me a little bit of information about that.
It was Nas. It was at the Fever, and he was Nasty Nas.
Okay.
And he was with 30 people, and the dressing room was smaller than that couch, and everybody was trying to be on camera. So it was a lot of, can y'all be quiet, please? And you know, they didn't care about me. They just cared about the cameraman, and the cameraman was up on a table, so he couldn't. There was nowhere to fit.
You talking about the Disco Fever on 167?
Yeah.
Oh.
And the dressing room was tiny as heck. And it was an ugly time, but Nas killed it. But it was his first interview, which you've seen in Illmatic, and you can see it online right now. But Nas was interesting. You know, what I loved was to be hanging out with all Queensbridge hardheads. You know, because they was in there like, yeah. And Nas was like, yeah, you know.
Mad laid back word.
So laid back. You felt like you were talking to Sammy Davis, but in prison. You know what I'm saying? Because it was so much going on. It was so crowded. But we got a good interview, and Nas was a lot of fun, and I love seeing how he's grown. I mean, I did a lot of firsts. You know, I interviewed Lauryn Hill and the Fugees.
Wow.
You know, Sony asked us to interview them, and Ralph was like, you do that. I did Wu-Tang's first interviews. Wow. Ralph did their whole album, directing music videos for them. But, you know, we did a lot. VideoMusicBox was everywhere.
And speaking of that, so every year my cousins, we have family reunion in Brooklyn. And my cousin moved to Maryland, but she used to be like the photographer. So, you know, like the promoted parties is always like a photographer. You pay to take the pictures.
Right, of
what
course.
we talking about. So she brought me like some pictures that she had. And she was like, Dad, look at this. Look what I found. So I'm like, oh, okay.
She pulled out
so
a
then
plastic bag. I'm nervous.
I'm like, wait a minute. I said, this is unreal. Who's this?
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Okay. Now, I don't remember.
That is
But I
definitely
had a
me.
birthday party, right? This
TK
was,
Kirkland.
Wow.
Tracy
and
Morgan.
Faith when she first started. So this was my actual birthday. I used to promote as Deb
Deb
and
and
Lisa.
Lisa.
I don't know if that was this day because it also says VideoMusicBox live recording.
Yeah, it does.
So, but when I saw this, I'm like, is this the Mark Ballroom? And I don't know who this is. Is that Will the comedian?
That is Will Savant, yes.
That's Will, right? But who is this person in this corner?
That looks like dude who used to run with Funk Flex. Mr. Entertainment. I forgot his real name. I can't tell.
But
Man.
yeah, for her to give me this picture, I was
That's
like,
crazy.
this is insane.
But that also looks like Jodeci.
That's what I thought too.
Like, that's a hard one. I mean, and
Because he looked like Will
He
would
looks
be
like-
performing like that.
no,
It's
exactly.
over.
That might be. Oh, hold on. That might be JoJo from Jodeci. That's exactly who that looks like. Is Jodeci on this show?
But they were in the building because you know the hotels used to have like when you promote it with
Everybody.
whoever.
Right, you
and
never
whoever
know.
wants to come through. But yes,
Oh, it could have been. But look, performing live, Bad Boy. Oh, that's Faith. It could have been. Anything's possible. Man,
I have to ask Ralph if he has this tape
he might.
from
Ralph
August
has
26th.
everything.
Yeah.
Park and I remember that hotel. Man, this picture's crazy.
That picture's crazy.
That's-
Yeah. And then I remember you had this is
As
before
long as I ain't
your
naked,
afro?
we good. We can look at all that.
Is this before your afro or after your afro?
That's before my afro.
before your afro.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, I brought the afro in. I went bald in the early '90s for a little while, just because it was something to do. But
See, I can
let it
hang out
grow
with your
back.
parents with the plastic, with the, you know how they keep pictures
Bruh.
and stuff. All
That's official. That's official.
But anyway.
That's funny. I love that. I wasn't sure what was coming out of her purse. I was nervous.
What's it gonna be? No, I mean,
Never know.
a hat in the water, right?
Yo, that's funny. Y'all are good at bringing everything right back. My brain doesn't work that fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. I have been sent pictures over the years of different things that I've done. I remember being at the Arc in Brooklyn, and this girl, I was letting people tell jokes, but if the joke wasn't funny, I hit them in the head with the mic.
I remember that.
And this girl told a terrible joke, and I hit her in the head, and I made security hold her, and I would hit her in the head every few minutes. Like, I'd be talking to someone else and then hit her in the head. I hit her in the head so much she got a headache. And then her brother came to fight me. Like, it was crazy.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
the funny thing was, he wanted to fight me, but he wanted to get a shout out first.
But that
dude.
shout out was serious.
Yeah,
Though, you know what I mean?
yeah. I want to shout out to
was
Killing
serious.
Tuffy. No, he was very unhappy with me. But his sister got love. She was on the show the entire hour because I'd be talking about whatever, shout out, and bang, hit her head.
You took
And
the
then-
Gong Show to a different level.
I did. That's funny. I never thought about that. But yeah, I love the Gong Show.
Dope.
I'm old school. Interviews that I did not want to do that ended up being good.
Yeah.
There's so many of those. I didn't want to do an interview with Brandy.
Brandy?
Yeah,
Brandy?
not because I didn't want to be around Brandy, but it just seemed like there were other interviews I wanted to do. And Ralph told me to go do this one,
Gotcha.
and I was like, yeah, okay. And I ended up singing with Brandy, which was fun. And that's, you can see that online.
Okay. Shout out to Brandy.
Brandy's dope, and she was young. She wasn't, she
this-
wasn't Moesha yet.
This was a young Brandy.
Yeah, very young Brandy,
Dope.
new on the scene, first album.
She used to do a lot of stuff with Maria Davis.
Yeah, she did.
What was the name of Maria Davis promote that we
Maria
did
Davis
then?
Productions, I believe. Yeah, Mad Wednesdays.
Mad Wednesdays, yes.
Okay, so shout out to Brandy.
Shout out to Brandy. Shout out to Maria Davis.
Dope.
I mean, back then there were clubs everywhere. Tate's was going on, and Sugar Shack was going on. There was parties everywhere, every night, and hip hop was fun. In the '90s and the early 2000s, you could bump into anybody in hip hop anywhere in the world. You could be in Harlem, you could be in Brooklyn, you could be on 13th Street, and you could bump into anybody.
Yes.
I remember seeing Nipsey Russell every day on 57th Street, every day. And not Nipsey Hussle, Nipsey Russell, old school.
Yeah.
You know,
Tin
from
Man.
the Wiz.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tin Man.
Gotcha.
Because everybody lived in the city, and I remember when J-Lo used to have an apartment on 13th Street. I see her
J-Lo.
every day because we had an office on the same block. I remember when Salam Remy used to be in the next office from me. We had an office on 33rd Street, and Van Gibbs, and it was just a lot of fun back then. Because being in the city was everything, shooting music videos was everything, and hip hop was just still growing.
Right.
And we'd shoot music videos, and then we'd be at parties 3 days a week, 4 days a week. I remember being at a party back in the days. There was a man named Bert Padell. Bert Padell was in charge of everybody's money.
That's the money man.
Yes. So every time you saw an artist with a yellow envelope, you knew they had like 5,000, 10,000, whatever the case may be. So we were at Sweetwater's. And everybody was buying liquor out the. I mean, Mark Morales walked in and he was like, "Champagne for everybody." He dropped $10,000, and that was one of 4 envelopes he had. And then Charles Oakley walks in and he's like, "Champagne, nah, let's have it." And he called something out, and it was just that kind of night. Like, if you didn't want to spend any money but you wanted to be drunk, that was the place to be.
Was Sweetwater's on 79th?
On
in the 70s?
70s, maybe right by 70 West on 10th Avenue.
Okay, yes.
And it was great. It was live performances. It was always like Allison from Def Jam or
She's so unsung, Allison Williams.
Allison Williams was dope.
Oh my goodness, that voice.
I remember watching CeCe Rogers, her, and I want to say CeCe. It was
CeCe Peniston?
CeCe Peniston, CeCe Rogers, and Allison Williams.
Okay.
And they tore down As We Lay in 3-part harmony.
Oh wow.
Tore it down.
Wow.
Like, if Jennifer, the one who recorded it, had heard it, she'd have been like, "Nah, I don't want to do that ever again."
I don't want to follow now,
They
right? Yeah.
killed it. I mean, back then was fun, and it wasn't about money. Like, I remember being in a restaurant in L.A., and Brian McKnight was there, and they unveiled this grand piano, and he walked over from his plate of food and played 6 songs. Impromptu concert.
But they go out now and they on their phones. Like,
Right.
it's a whole different thing. Like
The world
clubbing,
is different.
dancing. It's not what it used to be.
Well, we are pre-internet people.
Yes.
There was no internet at one point.
What's the scariest thing you've seen in hip hop?
I've seen a lot of scary. I remember,
Why
I remember being at a club called The World on Houston Street. It was New Year's Eve. VideoMusicBox was shooting. My sisters were there, and a gunfight happened inside the club.
What?
And all I was thinking about was, where was my sisters? And I knew who was shooting. I knew them. I'm not from the area, but I know LES very well, and I know most of the cats who like to fight, or I used to. So I'm walking across the dance floor, wild shots, and I'm looking for my sisters. I found my sister Cheryl. I took her to Ralph, And then I found Tracy, but she lost her purse. So then I was like, who got my sister's bag? I was really acting like them gunshots wasn't gonna hurt me, and I wasn't worried about it. I literally
That's that Bronx.
I was straight Bronx.
That sounds you.
And I was told 2 days later by one of the guys who was shooting. He was like, "Tough, I almost shot you," and I was like,
That's funny.
What?
"Good thing you didn't." What do you say to that?
Good thing you
you
did.
That's
didn't.
hilarious.
Good looks, bro.
Yeah, for real. Thanks for letting me know you almost shot me.
Thanks for missing me, bro.
For real. I remember there was a dude in the Bronx
So
named
funny.
Alphonse, and Alphonse liked to shoot up places.
Oh, wow.
But he always did it before it was open, so that way no one got hurt. And he liked to do it to strip clubs. I don't know why, but he's just crazy. But one night he shot up a strip club that I was in from outside, and I got a text like an hour later. He was like, "Yo, I heard you were there. I'm sorry." What are you doing? Like, dude, what are you doing?
Yo, bro, my bad.
Like, for real.
Yo,
If I had known,
like, if I would have known, I would have chosen another strip club.
Right.
Or the next day.
Or a different angle.
Yeah.
Like, dude, what are you doing?
Different angle.
Like stuff like that is so unheard of, but it's so funny.
Did you ever have to walk off or a guest
Right.
walk off?
Or
Oh,
you.
wow.
Yeah.
I have done. I've only walked off of one interview.
If you don't want to say it, that's fine.
Well,
You could just talk about the interview and not say the person's name, you know?
there was an artist who I was interviewing, and they were delivering bad news to her, and she lost her mind on camera. And what she didn't know was that the label was letting her go, but because she was going with another person who was leaving the label and starting their own, but she didn't want to do that. So I sat there and watched, and my cameraman was like, and it never aired because Ralph didn't let it, or however it, but it was crazy. It was a lot of anger. It was a Sony Records situation, and we were at Sony, so we had no choice but we were in a room. So and stuff like that happens, you know.
It's like when Busta Rhymes' group broke up on camera.
And that's always ugly when it happens.
Yeah.
And listen, I got leaders of new school stories too that
I could imagine.
But I mean, it's also the fun of it.
Yeah.
I remember interviewing Jennifer Lopez early in the game. She had just started dancing on In Living Color.
Fly Girls.
She was a fly girl, right?
Yeah.
And the cameraman got robbed that night, and they stole his equipment out of his car and all his bag of tapes.
Oh my God.
So when I saw her and she was like, "When's my interview gonna play?" I was like, "Babe, that it's not gonna happen. They stole the cameraman." She thought it was personal. She was like, "Why would that happen to me?" And I was like, "But it wasn't personal. They didn't know whose stuff it was." So she was like, "And you didn't save it? How do you save it?" Like, she was so pissed. So I saw her that right after the interview, about 2 weeks after the interview, and then I saw her a couple weeks later with Puffy at the club at New York, at Club New York, and she was like she rolled her eyes at me like I was personal.
Oh my God!
I owe you an interview. I'll do it again. No, I don't want it now. Like, she was so mad at me. Like, it wasn't personal, babe. I shot it. It went well. It looked good. It got stolen.
Yeah, I stole it.
Somebody might be sitting on that interview and sitting in their house. I have no clue.
Hey, word, yo.
But she was still mad. Like, I don't think we are friends because of that.
So
Wow,
you
that's
got some
crazy.
tape
Yeah, that's
stories
crazy.
too. It sound like.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there were interviews that there were some interviews. Like, I just ran into Joeski Love the other day, and we laughed about an interview from 100 years ago. And I forgot that during that interview, he punched his dancer in the face.
Wow.
I forgot all about that. And he was like, remember that night I punched Kev in the face? And I remember where we were at. We were in New Jersey at, starts with a T. It's also a homeless shelter. Tapping.
I don't know.
Not tapping. Oh my God. No, not a T. Zanzibar.
Hey.
Zan was crazy. Zanzibar and Sensations was everything in New Jersey back in the days. Zanzibar, man. I saw Colonel Abrams there, and I went to his dressing room to
I
interview
couldn't
him.
stand that song. I tell you, I'm sorry, Colonel.
Colonel
He
Abrams
passed,
had a
right?
drug problem.
Okay, sorry. Rest in peace.
Nah, well, he's
That
passed now.
song,
But
oof, they
I'm not
ran
going to let you.
They ran that.
He performed the hell out of that song and then went backstage and was smoking crack.
Oh,
Damn.
That broke my heart. Because I walked in to interview him and I was like, nah, told Tom the cameraman to leave. Tom was like, "No, let's shoot that." I was like, "Stupid, no, that's not."
That song
that
hit
is a
hard, but
no-go.
it wasn't for me.
Nah, it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was like more like house.
It was a house record. Oh, house was huge, and house was everything in Jersey. I'm not a big. I mean, I'm not. No disrespect to y'all, but house is for people who want to just sweat. And I like to sweat.
There's always that when
Under
that
certain
segment
conditions.
come on at a party. If they come out of nowhere, I just be like, "Oh, go ahead,
Ready.
Oh, go ahead, man.
They ready.
Bathroom.
You just want to sweat.
Energizer battery up their ass.
Speaking of music, let's
We
talk
need
about.
to get some outside.
I remember being in the studio with Nice and Smooth when we did Nice and Smooth is Funky. We did Hip Hop Freaks, and it was funny because Hip Hop Freaks from the Jewel of the Nile album. And Smooth told people it was Bobby Brown.
Wow.
So I was going to punch him in his face. But it made me laugh because I remember even Donnie Wahlberg played it for me. He was like, "Yo, have you heard this song with Nice and Smooth and Bobby Brown?" And he plays me. And I'm like, "Bro, that's not Bobby Brown, that's me." He was like, "Get the fuck out of here." And I was like, "Yeah." So you laugh about that, but it doesn't bother me because I know what I did. I remember being in the studio with De La Soul. I remember being in the studio with Big Daddy Kane. And it's so funny because Kane wanted me to sing on this song for I think it was the Chocolate second album or his third album, and we're out at Electric Lady Studios, which he loved. And I'm listening to this song, and he wants me to do "Say Yeah Yeah Yeah, Say Yeah Yeah Yeah," and he kept singing it over and over again. And he was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna do it myself." So he did it, and then he was like, "Nah, sing harmony on top of that." And I did the harmonies, and I did 3-part harmonies, and did 4-part harmonies, and he was like, "Man, that might be too much. Making me an R&B singer, nigga. I'm hip hop, nigga." So he cut it down to like 2 harmonies, so it was cool. But I recorded all. It was dope. It was dope. And then it was a song that was already done by a particular sample was done by my brain's not clicking right now. But when I listened to the original, my version was better. But Kane can feel what he feels. But yeah, I've had the pleasure of singing on a lot of stuff. R&B is what matters to me. When I was signed to Elektra, they called me the Hip Hop Luther. Hip hop because of my age, Luther because of my style. And right now I'm actually talking with Corey Rooney and her son Johnson about recording some music again because I miss good music in the world. We need R&B. There's some good brothers out here. Jay Brown is one of them. There's some good R&B singers. We miss that. We need it. We need that.
Soul music.
Yeah.
Soul music.
We definitely need that.
I'm not really crazy about the songwriting that's going on right now.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. My daughter was playing songs for me yesterday. I wanted to throw up. I was like, that's not even a lyric. And so they can say anything. My big toe hurts. What are you talking about?
There's no content.
There's none.
Yeah, and in
but
this
they not
era,
living. You know what I mean? They just everything is
It's
online.
the internet. It's all online. There's no connection.
Yeah, and in this era, that record would shoot the #1 and get a Grammy.
Sadly. Or something that sounds like a Grammy.
Yeah.
You know, a spammy, a flammy. Because that's what they do. They just don't care.
Yeah.
There's no rule to what they're doing anymore.
Right.
And that's why the game has changed. No artist in today's genre knows what a hook is.
Yeah.
Or a chorus is.
Yeah.
Or a bridge.
Bridge. Oh my God.
You know, they don't do. There's no song structure. So I miss that.
Yeah.
And I love real music. One of the problems is radio not allowing us to live and play good music.
Right.
I think the industry wanting us, people of color, to talk down to one another is part of the problem.
The control factor.
The control factor.
Yeah.
I do think auto-tune has definitely given room for non-artists to become artists.
Yeah.
So there's no artistry in the game.
Yeah.
And then they've taken the lyrics and taken it to the most simplest form of stupidity and ignorance. So there's no thought process going on.
Right.
So when ignorance becomes the lead, then happiness does not become the goal anymore. So
I tell people, imagine James Brown with auto-tune. Wouldn't even sound right.
That wouldn't even sound
James
right.
Brown, James Brown would be so mad at that.
Wouldn't even sound right.
And I had the pleasure of knowing James for a short time when he was at Sony.
Wow.
I mean, I've done some things.
Any story with James Brown?
Not a good one.
Oh, Prince?
I watched him. Yeah, I love Prince. I can tell you a Prince story. But I watched James Brown yell at somebody and then say, "I'm sorry."
But why is it that good though? At least he apologized.
I mean, he apologized, but he had to get his off first. And he said some really rude.
Yeah. He had to give the big payback.
Yeah, like he basically was like, your mama should have swallowed. Like he said so much shit to this woman.
Oh my gosh.
And then he grabbed her and he was like, I'm sorry, and walked away. And I appreciated it, but it was just so funny.
Oh man, James Brown.
Laverne Perry, who was my boss at Sony, she was like, it's okay, that's James. He just does that.
He just does that.
Like,
But he just smoked that la-la, so.
no question.
You know,
No question.
That might have did it.
He said he just does that. Prince story.
Prince is this tall. Prince, I remember I met Prince a few times. Dougie Fresh was a good friend of his. Free used to be a friend of his. And I've seen him perform. I mean, it's funny. I'm not a big Prince fan. I respect him musically.
Of course.
He's a genius.
Yeah.
I hate the battle between Prince and
Michael Jackson. Yeah, forever.
Two different things.
Yeah.
Two different levels of talent.
Yeah.
One performance-wise. One. I mean, Michael could not do what Prince does in the studio.
And vice versa.
Yeah. But if you listen to James Samuels, the director, he'll tell you all day that Prince is a better man.
Wow.
And that's an argument we've had that 18 times, regardless of the fact.
Right.
Prince came to, there was a place called Sharky's. Salt and Pepper used to have a pool hall party once a week. Prince came there. Prince had a limo that had these drapes inside. It was very, very weird and sexy. And they had frills. And he always made the frills hang outside the window, so you knew it was him.
Okay.
So he comes in and he's like, I like balls, but I don't play pool. What did that mean?
Hey, yo.
But he comes in and he, if you remember Sharky's, it was 2 flights of stairs. And he literally did the Morris Day. Like he galloped down the stairs.
Yeah.
And his security guard was like, I don't gallop. So we walked down behind him and he walks in and he just walks across the whole room like,
Seeing what
he's going to get into. And then he walked over and he shoved the ball and left. Very weird moment. And the funny thing is, his bodyguard didn't know he left. He walked right through us, so he's talking to me, and Prince was already up the stairs. Yeah. And I bet he galloped up the stairs. He was just such a... I used to call him the frolicking Prince, because that's how everything he did was like... It was just such a weird moment to me, and I'll never forget it. But I appreciate it because it was just him.
It was him.
Only person who could be tough with frills hanging from his wrist.
Right.
But I loved that.
Right.
Thought he was dope. What I loved about him, I don't think he cared what anyone thought.
Right.
No, he did his own thing.
He did him.
Marched his own beat. Yeah, for sure.
And I don't even know if he knew my name.
Yeah.
That's like we saw each other probably 6 times in my life.
Yeah.
And every time he was like, okay, bro, what'd I do wrong this time? And I loved him and I respected him. And he knew I wasn't a fan because I never was like, yo, your music. I was like, hi.
Yeah. A little bit about your contribution time and how did you get down with VideoMusicBox?
VideoMusicBox happened because my sister used to work at WPIX. She worked with Ralph and Lionel. They started a production company called Classic Concepts. So they called me one day to be an extra in a video for Davey DMX called Ooh Girl. And they were like, do you have any friends who might want to come? I was like, how many do you need? They were like, how many can you get? I was like, how many tell me what you need. They were like, we need like 10 party goers in sexy outfits, girls and guys too. And then they have to have a second outfit to change for entering the club, you know.
Like a different scene?
Just a different look, like they're different, like from the back, they're different people.
Oh, okay.
In front of the camera, they're dancing. So I was like, okay, so 2 outfits, it's an outfit change. I was like, okay, 10 people, like, if you can get 15, that'd be great. So back then, you could make a phone call and get 5 people, 1 phone call. So I ended up getting 33 people. It was just,
what year was this that you moved 33 people?
it was 87 or 88.
Okay.
I just graduated from high school, and it really wasn't hard to call and say, listen, my friend's shooting a music video. Can you come down to the Octagon and be cute, wear a nice outfit, and then you call 1 girl, she's telling 5.
Yeah, she already got her own 5 that's in her
crew
circle already.
Right, her crew. So I called 7 or 8 people, and we got 30 people. And they were like, we don't know who you are yet, Tuffy, but something about you is powerful. So you got to work with us. So I became their talent guy. Oh. So we did Heavy D. That year we did Heavy D. We did Orange Juice Jones. We did so much. and I was just casting all of that stuff. So I was in the office every day. I was 20, so the next year I was turning 21. So I was having a birthday party for myself. So Ralph was like, "You want me to shoot it for VideoMusicBox?" I was like, "Okay, that's cool." Ralph comes with his brother who's underage. He can't get in the club. Ralph's like, "I gotta take him back to Brooklyn. Just interview your friends." So my friends were Dana Dane, Heavy D, Pete Rock, Salt and Pepper. So I interviewed them and had fun. And one of the best parts of the interview was, I'm talking to Pete Rock. Pete Rock hadn't dropped music yet. He was like, "Yeah, I'm working on this thing with Corey, to my CL Smooth." And Hev walks into the interview and he was like, "If Pete Rock wants to get home to Mount Vernon, he better stop talking to Tuffy." And I love that. That's actually in the interview.
Oh, wow. The jewels you dropping, they heavy.
But it was amazing. It was amazing. Salt and Pepper, Dana Dane went to high school with me. Slick Rick went to high school with me. So these were friends all just hanging at the party. And it was my birthday party. And then Aaliyah from Make My Cake in Harlem made my birthday cake with a big piano on it, which was dope. And it was just a great time to be 21 in New York with all these hip hop icons.
Yeah.
And they weren't icons, they were my friends, but they happened to be hip hop icons.
Right.
And then everybody started writing in and calling in, "Who's that guy Tuffy?" And VideoMusicBox became the new home for me.
Yeah. And you did it well. You did it well.
Thank you.
It was natural.
It was fun.
And it sounds like two things were happening for you at the same time.
Yeah.
Casting, you saw that was a calling or something that you could do easily.
Yep.
And then hosting, you know what I mean?
It was easy and it was fun because it was not just work or even a task. It was just something to do. And we didn't, in my mind, I didn't think, and I tell this to Ralph all the time, I didn't think we were making history or even capturing history. All we're doing is telling a story about what's going on right now. So interviewing hip hop icons back then and legends back then is funny to me, but it's also, it's beautiful because Ralph now has 33,000 hours of footage.
Right.
I remember having Jay-Z at a basketball game. Jay-Z was new. He was still Jazz-O's man. Jazz-O was Hawaiian Sophie, So it was a different time. Jay-Z wasn't living on 560 State Street yet. He was still living in Marcy. And Marcy was a whole different ball game. Yeah. He was lucky to get out of Marcy and then get back at Marcy sometimes because the streets was not a joke back then. Yeah. And even Rakim, I know y'all asked about Rakim. Rakim was always super dope. What I never understood was the beef between Rakim and Eric B. And I loved them both. It used to piss me off that they were having problems with each other.
You think it was man-made?
It was mostly man-made. It was also their crew. If you down with Ra and she's down with Eric and y'all don't like each other, then y'all make it Eric and Ra.
About the man-made, right?
And there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
It was snipey stuff. It was unnecessary
Pitting
stuff.
each other against or trying to choose sides. So that now I chose a side, so I expect you to choose a side.
Right, and that's why groups always got broken up because of outside sources.
But what I don't understand is that like in the rock and roll genre of music, they don't have to get along, but when it's time for them to get that money,
all day.
they pull it together and they go and do what they have to do.
Hate is real, and evil is real.
Right.
And when you allow either one of those to penetrate the situation, it's time to go.
Yeah.
You don't belong there any longer. Don't go into any relationship, any situation with an agenda that is not proactive to the group. If it's all about you, you're in the wrong place.
Right.
You don't belong there.
And it's going to stunt everybody and everything you're trying to do.
I used to love when the Fugees were first together. There was such a love there. When they started pitting Praz against Wyclef, they were still fighting for each other. Praz and Clef were still fighting for each other. Lauren was already preoccupied with singing, as well as making music, as well as acting.
Right.
She had a lot going on. And then she had challenges, and then she met her man. And God bless him, he got beautiful Zion, beautiful son, but that was the downfall for her. Although it helped her to grow, which I love. But I think that separated her from all the greatness that she could have been.
Yeah.
And the Fugees were amazing together. Yeah. Amazing. They were like Brownstone, who was I love Brownstone. I introduced them to New York. Brownstone was phenomenal, and they got it. If Maxine hadn't passed away, I think Brownstone would have been a
bigger group.
Huge group. But Nicole is still great.
They definitely had the vocals.
Without a doubt.
The talent was definitely there.
And I gave them ideas for videos and songs. I love Brownstone. And I don't think about Like my creativity is limitless because I tap into that. So if you come to me and you need ideas, I'm an idea man. Let's go. I love creating stuff. And it's not about I'm creating it because you're gonna give me a check. I'm creating it because creativity matters. I love to create. I love to share. Ideas fall out of my face all the time. All the time. And I thank God for that, you know, and that's grace and mercy and favor.
Yes.
And I gotta hit the lottery and then I'll be really good. City College. The week before the Diddy game that Diddy had with Heavy D and all of them, we had a game at the same location.
We meaning who? VideoMusicBox?
Me, VideoMusicBox, Cedric, and we had a successful game. We sold 1,800 tickets. The place holds 2,000 tickets, and it's 200 standing, 1,800 seats in the risers of bleachers. So we sold 1,790 tickets.
Okay, so you
basically
under?
we filled it.
Yeah.
The week later, Puffy, Hot 97, Jessica Goldblum, they sold 7,000 tickets.
And they were plastering, because I remember, because I lived on 159th in Amsterdam. So, I mean, and they used to have, that's the street team. That's like the kind of first time that I really was seeing street teams like that. And they
went hard. They went hard.
And if they had Hot 97
and they had the radio
too,
on it, right?
Yeah, woo.
They sold, they pre-sold 7,000 tickets to a place that holds 2,000 people. So they were already asking for it. So then, the doors push into the no, they push out. They push out. So all these bodies are being crushed. So we were dragging bodies through.
Oh, wow.
I gave mouth to mouth for the first time in my life. I went to 5 of the 9 funerals because I felt terrible. And I tried to give life to these people. You know, Sonia from Mount Vernon, who I love, who was one of Misa's best friends. Dwayne Swain.
She passed?
She passed.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
Dirk Swain, there was so many names, and they stayed with me for life. Like I can still think about them. I still pray for them and their families because those are lives that never got to see the fruition. You know, the fruit of grace.
Right.
So I'm not saying I blame Diddy. I'm not saying I blame Howie or Jessica, but they know they were wrong. You don't sell 3 times the amount of tickets for a place that doesn't hold that much. It's not an arena.
Yeah.
It's a basketball court.
It's not realistic. And then the element of what they were selling was something that people really wanted to be
Without
there
a
for,
doubt. And they were breaking down the doors to get in.
Yeah.
And the fire department was standing there watching. A lot of people were wrong.
Yeah.
And the worst part is I remember while we're pulling people through the door, I remember seeing Howie, Jessica, and one more person running across the gymnasium with the cash boxes. They wanted to get out because they knew something was wrong. And a few minutes later, we had dead bodies. So I'll never forget that.
Yeah. It was cold. It was like a dark, when I say cold, I don't even mean temperature-wise. It was like it's like an eerie feeling when things like that happen in the neighborhood. You know what I mean? It kind of travels. It's in the air like the.
Yeah,
it's just
bad energy.
It's
bad juju.
Bad.
How did you guys meet?
Well, I went to Eric Adams' Hip Hop 50th at the at City Hall to meet 2 people, to see 2 people, TUFFY and the former commissioner for the Department of Education, Mr. Banks, and I met both of them. TUFFY, he was leaving. I was like, I didn't even see him. And I was like, TUFFY, listen, Deborah from Hush Tours, I wanted to talk to you. He was like, I've been waiting for you to call me.
What we doing? What we doing? Yeah.
And I was like,
I'm all in.
I said, okay.
I showed her I had on Hush underwear. I dropped my pants immediately. I had on a Hush onesie. I was ready. Let's go.
But the thing is, like, this is the truth. Like, for me, I know a lot of these people, and oftentimes, I don't know if they know me. I feel like they don't. It doesn't really matter because if I feel like they are a good fit for what I'm trying to do, or if I could help them and give them a platform or whatever that is, then that's the only way that I can be that. I don't think that was being aggressive, but for me, that's being aggressive.
It was good though.
It was scouting. Like I was scouting TUFFY, but I had saw you before, and I think we talked a little bit before that, but I never really like officially knew him other than VideoMusicBox. And you got to understand, when you watch VideoMusicBox, you really, even if you're not at that party, you're at that party because that was how the platform was.
We presented it that way, no doubt. There were times, like for instance, I used to do a jail call out. Like there were moments where I would just shout out people in different jails. And I did that, and I always showed sexy women because brothers who are locked up, they look forward to seeing VideoMusicBox on Saturdays. That was the only time they could see it.
That's the only thing, right.
So on Saturdays, I would do all these pretty women, and then Ralph sometimes would, do segment stuff, and then he'd break it up. But I loved trying to give them that because they, whatever their time was in Rikers or whatever jails, they were upstate.
Upstate, yeah.
I was always trying to give them love.
To connect them, and I'm sure you did a good job because even the people that was just sitting in their home, and that's when they used to come on at 3:30,
3:30.
running home, making sure that you don't miss it. Like that was a real thing.
Yes.
I know you younger, so you don't understand, but like how the internet is, social media is for this generation.
Absolutely.
That was ours.
That was it. Yeah.
No question.
That was how you found out, and don't even get a chance to say you want to give somebody a shout out. I passed on that often. I was going this way, but my friends, they would do it. You know what I mean?
That was a good time.
Yeah.
I mean, we enjoyed ourselves. We went to the parties. We got thrown out of the parties sometimes. It was always fun when, we brought our own security to protect us, because sometimes it'd be 5,000, 6,000 people in a function, especially at the big hotels in Jersey. And we're shooting and people are going crazy. Like I remember being at a spot in Jersey, some hotel, and this woman grabs my collar and pulls me while I'm recording. And I'm like, shorty, what are you doing? Like, I'm literally choking. And she's like, I just want to kiss you. And I was like, that's not the way it happens. So I get back to her and I was like, I gotta go get this kiss. I'll be right back. And that was fun. And she ended up being all right.
That's not how Taylor came to the
That
picture.
is not how Taylor came to the world.
Now, all right.
Let me tell you, I remember shooting at a party in a hotel in Connecticut, and this girl said, "You don't know who I am?" And I was like, "How would I know you?" She was like, "Everybody knows me." I was like, "Everybody?" I don't know. I want to know you. And she was like, "You don't watch porn?" And I was like, "No, sorry, I don't." She was like, "A local porn star that everybody knew." Her name was Keisha. That's all I can remember.
Oh, okay.
Her name was Keisha. I have no. She's not Taylor's mother either. But it was just funny to me. Like she was like, "You don't know me," and I was like,
so you was on her list.
She blowing with smoke. She's blowing with smoke, and I was like, "Shorty, I don't know you." She was like, you can call me KK. I was like, "Nah, I can't call you KK."
Did DMX mention Keisha?
He might have, and it wouldn't be surprised if that was her.
But another way that I know Tuffy also is because when I used to promote, that's also when that was happening. And you know who used to come out for us? Ken.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
What's the name of it? What's new? What's happening? I forgot his Ken Murphy. But anyway,
he
was
around town. Something I forgot.
Yeah, but he was like, shout out to Ken. I don't want to say
shout out to Ken. Ken was that dude.
Yeah.
He knew everybody's party. He knew where all the functions were.
Yes.
I mean, I miss those days. Like Wilson's on Sundays was one of the best parties.
That's the one I was talking about. That was on the west
Woo!
side. Like
79th Street.
Yeah, Wilson.
Wilson's on Sunday was the best party ever. I was at Wilson's.
Then the Shark Bar, you go.
Shark Bar was phenomenal, especially when Brandon ran the door. But that's another story. He owes me money. I gave him a 50 one night for a table, and he did not give me the right table, so I want my money back. I'm gonna find you.
Looking for you.
But Wilson's was incredible because Stevie Wonder performed, and Jasmine Guy would get up and anybody like Madonna was there.
Yeah, that was like a higher level.
Everybody. And
it was the weekdays too, not that weekend. That was a whole different crowd.
Yeah, weekdays was one thing, but their Sunday night party was the most elite party I've ever been to in my life, and I mean elite. You could be sitting there.
Well, when I said I didn't mean weekdays, I mean like not Friday night when you go out. It wasn't like that, or Saturday night like Bentley. You used to go to Bentley?
Bentley's was
Red
wild.
Parrot?
Bentley's drove me crazy because people could wear corduroy shorts. I'm like, why do you even make corduroy shorts?
Corduroy shorts, I never saw
Bentley's live Saturday night. Yeah, Bentley's was popping. Red Parrot was a different ballgame.
Yeah.
And then it became Green Emerald, like Emerald City. New York was a different city back in the 80s and 90s, man.
So, yeah, this was really nice, Tuffy.
Thank you, Dad.
I really appreciate it.
Well, real quick, to end it on a good note, artists nowadays aren't becoming iconic anymore, or don't have that word called longevity embedded in them.
Right.
What are some gems you could drop to maybe somebody that's watching that might be an up-and-coming artist, maybe even up-and-coming podcaster, host, that might want to have that thing called longevity connected to their career, whatever they want to do as far as hip-hop?
All right, first and foremost, don't believe your own hype. Don't judge your character by your social media numbers, because that's just a number. You can buy those numbers. So just because you have 10 million followers doesn't mean you're really popping. Do the work. Do the work. Know who you're interviewing. Know who you want to talk about. Do the research. Google is your friend, and it's not always 100% correct. So do your real research.
Yes.
Backtrack. Ask all the questions, and don't immediately go for the juiciest aspect. You know, don't try to interview Misa to ask her about Puffy. Ask Misa about Misa, because that's what matters. The word integrity doesn't mean a lot to some people. Integrity is everything. Integrity, compassion, humility, respect, both self-respect and mutual respect. If you use those keys, you'll always be able to get in the castle. If you don't use those keys, you'll be on the outside looking in for the rest of your life. And don't let the internet be your decision maker. When you do the work, you'll show. I wish you the best. Yes, it's important to have social media, but don't let social media drive everything you do. And don't chase the bag. Let the bag chase you. God bless you. I love y'all. Praying for y'all. Success is available to everyone. Build your team right, and build your team with an agenda to grow, not just to succeed. Because sometimes success can be the downfall. Build with the opportunity to grow. Elevation causes separation sometimes, but it can also create creation. So be great in that. I love y'all. Tuffy BX NYC, let's go.
Yes, that was nice.